No way! A video game sequel that turns out to be even better than its predecessor. Hey everyone, it's Movie Lover Warren 20 here, and I'm here with a brand new movie review, and this movie review is going to be for my second most long-awaited movie to come out this year, a film that came out this weekend, and yeah, this was my second most long-awaited film behind The Batman, which came out last month, and that movie's for none other than a sequel to a film that came out in the worst year ever, 2020, a film that was released before the pandemic hit. And that is, of course, this sequel, Sonic the Hedgehog 2. The sequel to Sonic the Hedgehog, which came out 2 years ago. So, what's the plot of this movie? Well, after setting in Green Hills, Sonic is ready for more freedom, and Tom and Maddie agree to leave him home while they go on vacation. But no sooner are they gone when Dr. Robotnik comes back, this time with a new partner named Knuckles, in search for an emerald that has the power to both build and destroy civilizations. Sonic teams up with its own sidekick, Tails, and together they embark on a journey to find the emerald before it falls into the wrong hands. Well, so how's this movie made? Well, around April 2020, during the lockdowns, Marsden has expressed his interest in a sequel featuring several characters from the video games, including Tails, who appeared in the mid-credit scene in the first film. Director Jeff Fowler also expressed interest in developing a sequel that focused on Sonic and Tails' friendship and further developed Dr. Eggman. Later that month, Schwartz said he felt it made sense for Paramount Pictures to not have announced a screenplay by that point due to the pandemic, also adding that he was interested in a sequel featuring Tails and a more accurate game portrayal of Eggman. And later that month, Sonic the Hedgehog co-writer Pat Cassidy revealed that there had been talks about a sequel, though the film had not been greenlit by Paramount by that point. He also said that Carrey was interested in wearing a fat suit in a sequel to more closely resemble Eggman's video game appearance. But that didn't happen, of course. Casey also hinted that a sequel could feature Sonic's supersonic form and the Chaos Emeralds from the video games. Also expressed a desire to introduce the characters of Knuckles the Echidna and Amy Rose. Amy did not happen in this movie either. Knuckles' existence was hinted at with the Echidna tribe scene during the first film's opening sequence. And then in May, Paramount confirmed that a sequel to Sonic was in development, with Fowler set to return as director alongside writers Casey and Josh Miller. Neil H. Moritz, Toby Asher, and Toru Nakara would produce a sequel, as they previously co-produced the first one alongside. Right, while Tim Miller and some other producers also returned for the first one as executive producers. So after the movie was filmed, y'all know I did 2 trailer reactions to both the trailers that came out and posted the big game spot on my channel. It was pretty much my second, with the exception of The Batman, this has been my most long-awaited movie of 2022, or my long-awaited sequel of 2022, because I really enjoyed the first one. If y'all remember, remember how I originally gave the first one a 9.5 out of 10 back when I first reviewed it when I started YouTube? If you want to go check that out, if you haven't. Well, I kind of now give it an 8 out of 10, because after some rewatches of the first one, I saw some flaws, but it's still the good movie it was when I first saw it. It's just it's now kind of an 8 out of 10. Honestly. But anyway, with that being said, back to the Sonic 2. The movie was released on April 8th, 2022, or has been released on April 8th, 2022, which would... And like the first film, also received mixed reviews from critics, but fan reaction has still been positive, just like last time. So tonight, I went and saw the film with a high school friend of mine, who's also a big Sonic fan, like I am. And what did I think about this movie, you may ask? Well, I thought this movie was way better than the first one by quite a lot. Now, the first one is still good, but this movie was on a whole new level. This would easily have to be my favorite video game movie of all time, and probably my third favorite movie of 2022 behind The Batman and Jackass Forever. Don't believe the critics, but they are still mad the first film was somewhat better received by some cinema goers than any of some of the cliche Disney movies that have came out in the past 3 years. Even made Hell, the first movie even made more money than that boring ass movie Encanto that somehow won the best animated feature. Yes, guys, you're gonna be punching my screens, but I really do not like Encanto. Sorry. Anyways, if you want a movie made for adults and children to enjoy, then this is the film for you. The CGI effects were so astonishing, even the cinematography was beautiful as always, and all the action-packed scenes, to which I have to say there are quite a lot of in this movie. But what made this film Sonic was the character of Sonic's friends and Nemesis Dr. Robotnik, once again played by Jim Carrey, and Colleen O'Shaughnessy back as the voice of Tails, like in some of the other video games. And of course none other than Idris Elba as the gullible, sturdy Knuckles. That all bring brilliant performances, especially when the Sonic heroes are all being such pals, is so cute. It's so cute, and was very heartwarming to sit through as well. And the main characters in the movie, Dr. Robotnik, Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, felt very authentic, well-developed, fun, and believable. I can only wish they would have got more screen time, since the side story of the human characters was not really kind of necessary and dull most of the times. I'm going to get to that stuff in a bit. I really love the fact that this movie had so many references from the first 3 Sonic the Hedgehog games, like most of the certain game stage, music, items, and most importantly the storyline itself, including the Green Emerald, Super Sonic, and the big-ass robotic robot at the end of the movie. And with the arrival of Knuckles on screen, the plot of the film began to gain momentum and did not slow down to the very end. And I absolutely really loved Idris Elba's performance as Knuckles. And after seeing this film, I think he's probably my favorite Knuckles, and probably my favorite Knuckles in a very long time. It was good to see the Knuckles back to being serious, not the comedic dumbass he's become in the newer games. It's good to see Sonic Knuckles actually go back to the serious portrayal he was supposed to have. I'll give you praise in this film was mainly its visual side, whether Sonic himself, who, except for small steps in not reaching the effects of the object, or over the illogicality of moments such as bouncing from the bare air to the enemy, for the children's eyes captivated by the fearlessness of the protagonist, I guess as well, and the appearance of Dr. Robotnik, allies, aka Eggman, who has been given a slightly different look since the first film, has already been treated in the subtitle scene of the first part, which looks more like a game adaptation, and while I kind of wish they did go with the fat suit option, I really liked how he looks more like the game's portrayal this time around, and it's kind of clear, I like how this one it was kind of clear they wanted to focus way more on Sonic and his friends here. I generally adore the interaction between these 3 throughout the film. They had such great chemistry and a lot of nice character moments sprinkled in. The human characters, while not as enjoyable this time around, also do a great job here, although they're not as prominent as the first movie. Jim Carrey's Dr. Eggman was probably the best human character of the film. I mean, now, when it comes to the human characters, Tom and Maddie were still pretty good characters, but they didn't really get. They didn't really get much screen time in this movie. I mean, they don't really do much until near the very end of the film and stuff. Now, and of course, here's probably the big, most annoying human character, Rachel. Now, you all know I really hated Rachel in the first film. Here, she's still kind of a bit annoying, but she's not nearly as annoying this one as the first one, surprisingly. She's still kind of annoying at times. She's just not nearly as much. She's kind of a bit more likable in this film. So I guess I kind of did like that as well. But just kind of the half stuff, just kind of the stuff in Hawaii is kind of the only really bad qualities I really have of the film. And now, back to the good qualities though. The action sequences left me and my friend, the others in the screen on the edge of our seats. And the final act was a thrill from start to finish and throwing many exciting surprises. My only real qualm of the movie is the pacing. Other qualm of the movie is also kind of the pacing to start. And ironically enough, it felt like things were going a bit too fast and characters and things were being introduced to us all at once, which led to the first act kind of being messy. So the movie definitely gets better and better as it goes on through. And especially picks up from the middle point onwards. There's as well, people can say, this movie's 2 hours long, but I don't think it really was. It didn't really feel like 2 hours long, really. It was kind of paced pretty well. And now, we're going to be getting to spoilers here. But now let's talk of the mid-credit scene. And this is going to be a major spoiler, guys. The mid-credit scene really blew me away with this as well. Now, once again, be warned, there's going to be some spoilers here, so if you haven't seen the film yet, please click off this video or skip ahead because this is very, very major. Okay, but anyway, here we go in 3, 2, 1. This is it. So, after Robotnik is defeated by Supersonic in the final fight, this organization that's introduced around the film named Gun searches for Robotnik's body, and they, instead of finding Robotnik's body, they discover a 50-year-old file that is named Project Shadow, resulting in a capsule somewhere in an unknown location opening up, and it contains none other than, guess what? Shadow the Hedgehog! Yeah. And that's one of the show's Shadow's unconscious. Shadow opens his eyes, and like I could tell you, like, the whole theater was just screaming away in excitement. That's, well, like, man, so now in the third film, we will be seeing Shadow be the next threat for Sonic. And if he ends up being the new main antagonist for the third one, if it happens, it would kind of make sense since Carey has said he is planning on retiring from acting after this movie. And Robotnik in this version, I think, might be dead for good because they didn't find his body, so... And he kind of collapsed with the robot. When the robot fell down, he kind of collapsed with it. So I think this, like, version of Robotnik might be dead for good. It would make sense if Carey doesn't plan on coming back for 3. So they could have Shadow be the next antagonist and do other antagonists in this franchise for the next films in this franchise. Just for this version of Sonic anyways. If you're wondering who I hope voices Shadow in 3, I really hope they get Keanu Reeves to voice Shadow in 3 because I think he's the perfect match for the character. That's just me anyways. But without spoilers though, fans, the rest of the movie being spoilers though, that's the only spoiler thing I'm going to give in this review. Fans will be most happy with Sonic 2, and even people who aren't fans of Sonic will still get a kick out of it. Although this ain't saying much, I can confidently say that this is the best video game movie I've seen easily. It really felt like they put their soul and effort into it, and kids will easily have a blast with this. So if you have kids, definitely take them to this. If you finally want to take your kids back to the theater again, if you feel safe taking your kids back to the theater again, or if you still don't feel safe taking your kids to the theater, or then you can just wait for it to come out on streaming as well if you guys don't feel safe. But either way, this film is definitely worth a watch if you loved the first one, and if you just really want to see an even more faithful adaptation, or a video game movie that really does the adaptation the right way for once. So I really hope this movie makes a lot of money, which I bet it probably will this weekend. And I really hope we get to see a third one in this franchise soon. So anyway, here's my final recommendation for Sonic the Hedgehog 2. So overall, if you were surprised by the first one 2 years ago and want even more amazing success with the follow-up, then definitely go and see this film because it is one of those few sequels that is even better than the first film and a video game movie that gets the portrayals right and listens to fans once again. And if you're wondering how I'm going to rank Sonic the Hedgehog 2, I'm going to give Sonic the Hedgehog 2 a 9.5 out of 10. There we go. It felt good to get some massive recovery after the dreaded shit called Morbius I had to sit through. But with that being said, though, we'll have to see how the rest of this movie season goes now. Now that we're kind of somewhat starting to approach the summer movie season next month, I wonder what that'll have in store. But until then, guys, that'll be it for this review. Thank y'all for watching, and if you like this and want to see more, then don't forget to like, subscribe to Movie Lover 120.